Good morning, happy Wednesday. It is a midweek confidence boost little conversation here. As you hop on, say hello. If you're watching the replay, jump in the comments, even just leave an emoji just so I know that you were here. Or if you want to silently watch, that's cool too. Doesn't matter to me how you want to engage. But last week I came live and did kind of the same type of sit down confidence boost kind of moment, and the conversations that I had with the handful of people that were on was amazing. So don't be shy to jump in. I'm going to pull a card, get us thinking, get us grounded, get us feeling intentional, because if you've been around my world or my community at all, that's exactly what I'm about. So don't be shy to jump in the convo if you're feeling led to do that. And all of that goodness. So Heather, hi, hello. You need this today. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope that it's exactly what you need and that it helps you kind of feel like you can go into your day and the rest of your week feeling a little bit better, feeling a little bit more that you're not alone, because I know that it's hard on those days and seasons that we just feel like we're either, kind of climbing up the the quintessential mountain, or have best intentions for our day, but it's just hard, or maybe there's something tricky going on. So I do hope and send you so much love that everything is great and good in your world, and if it's not, that this can be a little something in the right direction for you. Whoops, as I drop like all the cards on the floor, Butterfingers over here. But so anyways, last week I pulled a card and it just got us kind of having a little conversation. It had me kind of riffing on some things that came to mind so that I can hopefully fill you up and fill up our souls a little bit. So I also want to chat about a couple of fun things that are coming up in my world and my community that are for the people, for us to come together and bond and be kind of just more intentional with each other. But I figured I'd start with a question because it'll get me kind of grounded and able to hopefully serve and fill your cup for you. And you always fill my cup right back up. So you all out there in this world, this community, are literally the best. I am so lucky, blessed, and grateful to be surrounded by so many amazing, powerful women. Whether you think that that's you or not, it is. If you're here, if you're seeing this, if you're in my community, then it's you. It's you. So I told myself last time I was going to get a table. I have a table, but it's like so far that way that just at this point. So I've got these are empowering questions. So these are just one of the many things that I use for sometimes journaling, sometimes just grounding myself. Sometimes I'll even find myself in the middle of the day, which, is hard to do sometimes, especially for me, because when I'm like focused on something or have something going on, I just want to do that. But I'll just know that I need a little shift in my perspective, so I'll pull one. And they're all really great questions. I mean, some of them are more surfacey where others are a little bit more in depth, but anyways, so I'm just going to kind of fan them out and just pull one, right? What are we needing to think about today? What are we needing to, let's see, here we go. So here is the one that I pulled, and I know it's probably backwards for you guys, but what does happiness mean to me? Hey, Cassie. So what does happiness mean to me? So let me know, drop in, take a moment maybe to take a deep breath, even close your eyes if you feel called to, whatever you need, shake it out, walk around your space right now if you need to while I'm talking, whatever it is. Put me in your back pocket. But what does happiness mean to me? And so I'll kind of jump into my answer to that question. For me, happiness comes from a lot of different spaces for me. Cassie says inner outer peace. I love. And what is the feeling of that for you? What do you what's a symptom of that? I know that's kind of a negative word, but what's a symptom within you that you know that you have that inner or outer peace happening? I'd love to know. But for me, happiness to me truly means just feeling free. I have a feather it's really hard to show this angle, but I have a feather tattoo on my arm. And the reason why I got it was to remind myself, because through life, I have been the rule follower. I have been which I know some people don't really believe, being somebody who has purple hair and a tattoo and all these things, but rule follower, perfectionist, which I am now a recovering perfectionist, yeah. Scared of the world, all the things. I finally realized that freedom and feeling like there isn't always a definitive answer, and allowing to go with the flow a little bit more than maybe I'd like to, like at the core of my being, right? Those things have become the thing that lead me to happiness more often than not. And I think when we're hunkering down on needing the answer to something, having something be a certain way, our business looking a certain way, or hitting a certain number, or, whatever quantitative thing that we could add into that mix, right? When we let go of the outcome of what it is, then we can be more happy in the moment, right? We can find the little glimmers of light, even in the hard moments. And to me, that's what happiness is. The freedom to flow through that in a different way. I will never say easy. I will never say, things like that, because it's not easy. It's not easy to find happiness sometimes. It is not easy to listen to the answers in which are right for you. And so flow for me. Let's see. Heather says, filling up my cup and saying yes to myself. Yes. What is something that you want to say yes to yourself to more this year? Is there something that you want to say yes to more of this year? I would love to hear. Then your cup flows over to others in your life. But that's so true. It's so true, because when we are able to fill our cup, which we have such a hard time doing as women, as people who are hard on ourselves, as people who are, and Cassie, I know you and I were just talking about this, you're so hard on yourself. You're so, right? We just are like that a lot of times. I think us creatives are like that. Us people who are drawn to entrepreneurship and doing our own thing, we can be so dang hard. So what are you filling your cup up with? What are you filling your cup up with? And anybody can answer this, right? What is something that you are committing to filling your cup up with more this year? I know when it's happening because I find myself being present even without trying. I feel balanced in my days and just handle obstacles with stillness. I love that. That you just I resonate with what you said, Cassie, because I feel like I get in those moments of flow too. Like the state of just being in flow, of just going, oh, I'm not trying to be present. Like you said, I'm not just going, I'm going to be intentional right this moment and this is what's happening. It's just, you just are. And so that you've got some of that inner peace and that kindness to ourselves and to our souls. So I love that. Happiness and joy are two different things. I think joy can be attained more in our mindset versus circumstances. Joy can be, yes. I had to take a minute, Heather. I love that. Joy, absolutely, right? You can be in a really hard season. Maybe it is turmoil in a relationship, a loss of a loved one, a hardship in your business. And it could be very hard, but you can still find joy within some of those things, in some of the other moments that are still around and still, happening. Because the thing is, I believe we have an and life, right? We have really hard and really beautiful moments happening simultaneously all the time, right? And some seasons, maybe there's a little bit less hard or a little bit less beautiful, and that's just natural. But most of the time, there's a little bit of all of it happening in some way, shape, or form. So I do love that you said that the mindset is where the joy comes from versus, right, them separating out that joy and that happiness to see how it's different and how it reflects in our lives differently too, which I think is kind of a poignant thing to think about. So thank you for that, Heather. I think that's beautiful. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss anything poignant happening because you guys are on point here. Cup will be filled with self-love. Yes. Happiness sometimes is fleeting. Yeah. I mean, let's think about it. Our moods shift and change. We could be happy in 1 minute because of X, Y, and Z, and then the next minute feel a lot of different other things, frustrations, angers, just overwhelm, all the things, and it's fleeting. But if you can still find joy within that, right? Going back to how you said they are kind of different, they are different entities in a way, right? That is a beautiful, I love that. Because happiness is fleeting, but joy can be sustained through the way that we show up for ourselves, and the way that we let our spirit and our energy kind of just move about the cabin, if you will, even in the hard moments. So I love this. Yeah, right, Cassie? I agree. Oops, I'm clicking things that I shouldn't be clicking. I agree that, yeah, it was really so well said, Heather. So I love that. Hey, Sandy, how's it going? Another beautiful soul on here, which I like. Again, like I said in the beginning, I'm so blessed and happy to have so many amazing people. Let me grab another card here, because that was a really great little riff, you guys. And I'm thinking that maybe I'm being called to like another question for us to chat through. Just confidence, like boost our little bit of confidence. And by confidence, I don't mean like, oh, like you're walking down the runway, right? Confidence comes in so many ways, shapes, and forms, in my humble opinion. I think confidence is just the ability to stop procrastinating on that thing that you are procrastinating on, or sending that email that is a little bit tricky or hard and you're kind of nervous to send. Like, that's confidence, right? Confidence can be from saying yes to yourself more. It can, be saying no or creating a boundary. Confidence comes in so many ways. And I think one of my missions is to make that word feel more than just like, oh, I feel good when I look in the mirror. That is a piece of confidence as well. That is a part of that. But confidence is so much more than what you perceive yourself to feel and look like. It is the, like, checking off a lot of different spaces and parts of yourself, right? And understanding yourself to the core. Okay, so let's pull another little card here. Let's see what we've got, what we're gonna get thinking and chatting and talking about. Okay, ooh, this one's like got a lot of words on it. Let's see. Okay, if this was my last days, would I be satisfied with where I'm at in life? Okay, that's kind of like, woof, that one's like heavy. But let's look at it like this, right? Speaking of kind of filling our cups up and filling up our confidence, because this will help us think about how we want to go into the next few months of our lives, right? What are we satisfied with currently? I know, right, Cassie? Damn, right? If this was my last days, would I be satisfied with my life? Let's look at it like that, right? Like, what am I happy with right now? And maybe what do I want to shift in? Because we have, right? We've got the notion of going forward, right? Our hopes is that we have time. And so what can we take, like this very kind of heavy question, how can we take it and just use it right now in this moment to better our trajectory, better the way that we're thinking about where we want to go, all of that. So what's something that you are really happy with that's happening in your life right now, or your business, or a little bit of both, that you want to continue moving on into the future, that you want to continue moving on into the future, the next few weeks, the next few months, throughout this year? What is something that you're already feeling satisfied within? And maybe what's something that, maybe think of both the sides of this. And what's something that you're just like, at the heart of hearts, you're like, this is not right for the way that I want to be or go in life. And maybe right now is the moment to start cultivating how you can shift that. Hey there. Okay, can always use a confidence boost. Yeah, that's why these are important to me to hop on and do these. Sometimes a little bit of community and connection does just that. I'm happy with my romantic relationship and hope it doesn't end. My anxiety always ruins everything. Ooh, I would like to challenge you on that, right? Thank you for sharing that moment. Thank you for sharing that part of your heart, that space within you. But as somebody who also has anxiety, something that's helped me shift within my relationships is recognizing that it is a part of me and it is something that I have within the way that I operate, but it isn't necessarily the way that I introduce myself, for instance. Like, obviously, right? hey, my name is Megan and I have anxiety. So how can you shift that to see how maybe it will, it's a supporting actor a little bit, right, in your life, because you can't just like, snap and it's going to go away. However, if you're happy with your relationship, how can we shift our view on how your anxiety lives within that relationship, if that makes sense? I hope I'm making sense in that, because obviously I'm just riffing on that, but it struck me because as somebody who has anxiety and it's taken different shapes and forms over the years. I would love for you to maybe see if you can have a reframe on there and see what maybe different story we can write for you, specifically around that relationship, but in a bigger picture, all across the board for you, right? To have that healthy relationship within your anxiety journey. But yeah, let me answer this, right, too, so that helps keep the conversation moving and all the things. And I know there's always a little delay too on the comments. So, and if you don't feel comfortable sharing something that I pose out there, also, like, just remember that's safe. You're safe to just quietly listen to. So what am I right now, currently, like, what am I satisfied with in my life, right, is that I am becoming friends with the different kind of versions of myself, if that makes sense. I hope I'm articulating that properly. I'm really satisfied that I used to feel like I was only just kind of like, not that I ever thought I was just one way or could only be one way, but just it only felt safe to be kind of certain versions of myself. And I think we all have layers and versions, and some people might think, well, that's like, oh, like you have a different version when you're doing this or that. And it's not really that you're a different person. It's just like different kind of, it's almost like a different outfit, right? Like it's just a different space that you're in on that day. I think we could all agree that that is something that is natural. So I am satisfied with that part of it. Things that I'm still not satisfied in. So if it was my last day, I would look back and kind of be a little bit, like, oh, I would do that differently. So it's making me think, how do I do that differently for the coming weeks, months, and year, right? Is still holding boundaries within my time and how I give my time to others in particular. Coming into this new year, right, I really said to myself, there's going to be certain days for certain parts of what I do within my business, for instance, right? So that I can be more compartmentalized, so that I could be more calm and productive when I need to, and I can take time when I need to, and I can be my best self for clients. Because going back to what Heather and Cassie, what we were talking about a little bit ago, is that, right, like when we fill our own cups, we can fill the cups of others so much more, right? We can have a downspout versus a little trickle for all of the cup filling that's happening. And so, yeah, those are the kind of the spaces that I feel satisfied working in. And then things that I want to really make sure that I pay attention to, so that I don't stay dissatisfied in that vein. Okay. I could restate myself. I know this is my past talking, and I'm not the same relationship as I was. This is a safe relationship. I love that, healing your mind. Oh my goodness. I love that. Keep that forefront, like write it down if you need to. I know this is my past talking. It is. And I'm not in the same relationship as I was. This is a safe space, a safe relationship. I am safe. That makes sense. It's powerful to accept and acknowledge the different versions of yourself. I love that. It is. I'm glad that resonates with you, because I was like, am I saying this, clearly? Sometimes something in your head sounds completely different than when it comes out of your mouth, especially because we all think and comprehend differently. So I love that resonated with you, because I think we do need to accept that there's different layers and different parts of us that are going to show up in different ways and shapes and forms, really. Cassie says, you're beyond satisfied with your fitness journey, but my relationship to food has been a struggle. Yes. I totally understand that. I'm not super satisfied in my fitness journey at this moment. So thank you for saying that, because it's a beautiful thing to know that there is people who are happy with the way that they are nourishing their bodies and moving their bodies. And just know that, right, the more that you continue loving and being excited about the fitness side of your journey, that the other side will will maybe wane and wax a little bit more because it's definitely more of a thorn for you. But how can you, like, what mindset do you have about the fitness side of it, like the movement side of it, that you can maybe tailor into the food side of it? Just posing a random thought and a question for you, because just curious if there's something that you can carry over that might help click for you a little bit more there. Do you give yourself more grace with your movement and your fitness and all of that, which maybe you beat yourself up more on the food side of it, kind of a thing, right? If your goal is to feel like healthy and, just energized and stuff like that, maybe there's some sort of a disconnect with that. Since I was 11, but working with you and focusing on my small business is so gratifying. I'm so glad, Cassie. I have just loved getting to know you over the short period of time, and I know that you are meant for beautiful things in this life, and I know that as a fellow creative, as somebody who, has a lot of like-minded ways of thinking, being, and existing in this world, that you're working to surround yourself with people who are uplifting and on the same wavelength as you, and maybe think differently, but also at the same time have similar thought processes. So I'm so glad that, giving yourself the space, to give that focus, give that gratifying feeling within your business is such a beautiful thing. So kudos to you for that. You're finding balance in all the facets of your life, and it's always been difficult for you, but you're starting to think that that's just life, and how we decide to move forward is what counts. Yeah. It is very difficult. It can be very, very difficult to have this quintessential balance, right, that we're looking for. And I just think that sometimes life is unbalanced, and it's okay and it's safe for that to be the case as well. But if we fight it too much, then that's when we can feel more turmoil, and we can feel even more unbalanced then, because we're fighting it, I suppose, right? Love that question. I have a personal trainer 5 days a week who feels like a friend. So I think I'm very motivated to go every morning since I'm in a new city, and it holds me accountable. Okay. It all comes down to accountability for me. That makes sense with you. I totally can see that. So thanks for helping me in so many ways. You are so very welcome, Cassie. And so, yeah, I guess maybe think about if you identified, which clearly you did, that accountability is what helps kind of boost you in the right direction. It keeps your confidence flowing in different spaces and places, which obviously with your business, with movement, all of that. So how can you find some accountability, maybe, if that's the answer for you? And it may not be either. You might find that still doesn't do the trick, but maybe it will, or maybe it at least gets you a little bit closer to how you feel good within that realm of your life. So I love that. Keep that top of mind there as well. But okay, I'm gonna pull one more question here, and then I'm just gonna talk about a few exciting things that are happening that I hope that we all can come together on. Ooh, there's a backwards card. It makes me want to kind of pull it, but then I'm also thinking maybe it's just the card that I just had, and that I just put it in backwards, and then I'll be disappointed thinking it's fun. Let me see. Is it? It is. See, I knew it at the core of my thoughts there. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna pull this last one here for question. Oh, are you kidding me? I pulled "What does happiness mean to me?" again. Well, so I'm not gonna hone in on this one because we already talked about it, but maybe somebody needs to reevaluate, or after you hop off here, go even deeper with that question. What does happiness mean to you? So, okay, let's pick the real third one here. Ooh. How have I become me? What am I like? So how have I become me? What am I like? I love this question because I truly, really feel that becoming ourselves is just this beautiful ongoing process. So if we take the time to think about how you have become you, like how do you continuously become yourself? Because it's always shifting. It's always changing. Who I was 3 years ago. Good morning, Victoria, you beautiful human. Hello. Hello. We're talking about how have I become me? What am I like? So I firmly believe that I was definitely not the same person I was 5 years ago. Definitely wasn't the same person I was even 5 months ago. And if I was being really honest, there's probably something I can find slightly, just even if it's like a grain of sand or a grain of salt difference, even 5 hours ago, right? Something might have shifted in me. In fact, right? Like if we get real with ourselves, we can think about all the things. And I'm a firm believer, speaking of going back to when I was speaking with Healing Your Mind, when they were talking about their anxiety is a huge part of my life. It has been, right? And I don't want to make it a, front runner role. But it is part of who I am. It has made me be a lot of what I am in this life, right? And so it has made me fearful in seasons. It has made me downright overwhelmed. It has made me stronger. It has made me see things from a different light. It makes me see people differently because I can kind of see when they're struggling, or I can almost sense that from them. So all of these things, right? Being a business owner has shaped me time and time and time and time again. I've learned from my mistakes. I've learned from my triumphs. I've learned from my clients. I've learned from, right, all the things. So let's hear if there's anything that comes to mind for you of how you have become you. I want to know more about how that's happened for you. Okay, Healing Your Mind says, I have become me by life trials, old relationships, new relationships, family, and now I am not even the same person I was a year ago. Now I am more resilient and I feel stronger. You are. It's because you absolutely are. And thank you for sharing that piece of your heart. Because life's trials, I feel like sometimes are the things that shape us more indefinitely than some of the triumphs, if we're being really honest. But I think both can do the same, but we have to take the time to tailor our mind around both and see and say what we've taken from them. So I love that. I love that you shared that. Cassie says, experiences, relationships, and new information combined with your own actions. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that piece of you, right? I know that it's not always easy to share in the world, out some of these thoughts that we have in our heads, but I do believe it's what will bring us together. It will bring us closer. It will bring us all kind of rising up within ourselves as well, even just as a standalone human being. So new information. Yeah. So the more that you learn, and Cassie, I know that you are all about sustainability, right? So when you continue learning about that for yourself, not only as just you as a human walking this planet, doing better in the world of sustainability, but you as a business owner also continue learning, right? So you experience these learning bursts and different information comes your way, and you choose to act differently, do differently, right? And so I love that. I love that for you. And yeah, our experiences. I am worthy of being heard, loved, and respected. You absolutely are. Please know that my heart actually is radiating out that energy to you. You all in particular, yes, right? We all absolutely are worthy of being heard, loved, and respected. And that's why I feel called to come on and do these chats, because it just takes the little bit of us chit-chatting together and being here that reminds us that we're worthy and that our words matter, our feelings matter, our struggles, our triumphs, all of it matters. Cassie says, I also think the people you surround yourself with truly shape your evolution. I love the way you said that. I wouldn't be nearly the same without that influence. 3,000%. I have so many thoughts on that, but what first comes to mind is that, yes, it is really so important. And I know we've probably all heard it a million times over, but that whole, the 5 people that you surround yourself with are the, right, kind of the way that we evolve, the way that we kind of show up in life. If you're around people who bring you down and all they're doing is negatively pulling down the ideas and the thoughts and the excitements that you have in life, well, it's no wonder that you would feel overwhelmed or fearful to be a part of that, or that you just start to bring yourself down a notch because, well, I don't want to ruffle the feathers, right? But if you're around people that lift you up and make you feel good or get excited about your big, crazy, silly, sometimes ideas, then, you're going to be lifted. People who get you. If you're going through maybe a mentally hard situation, or your mental health is in a bad space and it's somebody who's like, just buck up, get cheery, you're going to be fine, kind of a mentality, that might not be the right person for you. It doesn't mean they're a bad person, right? But yes, absolutely, Cassie. So thank you for that, because it's a reminder that we need to always kind of have in the back of our mind is like, does this population of humans serve me, or am I doing myself and really everybody else around me a disservice? I love that you guys are chatting back and forth. This makes me so happy. I was listening to Dave Ramsey, and he shared your financial situation is influenced by who you surround yourself with. Yeah, that goes even like a step deeper, right? Because we think, our mindset or kind of the way that we, go into life or build our business or whatever is like directly, a part of who we put ourselves around, but also our financial situation, because we become products of. So let's say we're around, many people who are really maybe frivolous. And I'm not saying, don't treat yourself sometimes, right? But I'm talking like they're just really they have no kind of groundingness in the way that they want to, create a savings. They want to save for the future. They want to invest in their business, and they're just super frivolous. But if you're around that too much, you might find yourself caught up in it, right? Which then can put you in a bad space, because it's just like, that's maybe not where you want to go, but it's easier to be there. It's easier to go do the things that person might be doing as well. So there's so many layers to that. I'm sure Dave Ramsey speaks on it in a much more like money mindset way, but that's a really poignant and great reminder for us all to think about that. And how beautiful of speaking of confidence boost combos here, how beautiful is that when you can confidently know that maybe you have to keep reminding yourself of who you want to put yourself around in different seasons, who that you want to be around, but there's certain, kind of space and distance that you have, or the people that you want to call when you're joyous and excited, or the people that you want to call when you're needing a little bit of support and assistance. I would say that for the most part, a lot, like once we get really clear on those people who are really good for us, they're probably the people on both ends of the spectrum. But it's everyone's different. So it's just finding that, feel confident in building the relationships that you need in this moment. It's not selfish to need something specific for yourself and the way that you surround yourself with everything. You know what I mean? So I love that. I love that so much. I kind of want to like throw a challenge in for all of us, like something to think about. I'm trying to think like almost like a little, like whether we journal or just something to kind of wrap up this conversation in our minds, like moving forward. Like how can we just take some time to really let some of this sink in, especially for anybody that was like, ooh, this is like, my favorite quote by Ram Dass, we're all just walking each other home. Ooh, I have never heard that one. I kind of got like chills when I read that. We're all just walking each other home. That's a moment. That's a thing to really think about. I love that. Thank you literally for sharing that. Cause I'm like, I don't get like easily outward, like emotional, but I'm like, that just like made me think of like a million different things. Yes, please do. Oh, so for like a little challenge. I know I'm trying to think of something that's like easy attainable that we could all just like get off, and do sometime like, today or whatever, that would be like a good challenge. Also open for ideas, right? Of thoughts. But I think like at the end of the day, what I would want to do is maybe this, list out, kind of tying in all the questions, list out 3 things that you are currently happy and satisfied with, and you want to keep building on in your life, in your business. Can be in all areas. So 3 things that you are currently happy and feeling satisfied with in this season, and you want to keep that moving in that direction and or build on it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then 3 things that you're not feeling quite, like snug as a bug in a rug with at this moment and what you can do. Give yourself an action item, one simple action item. I'm not talking like a laundry list of things that you're never going to actually do. One simple action item for each thing. So 3 action items of what you can do to get in the right direction. So this could be, say you've been putting off, doing something, and it's all you have to do is send an email to start the conversation. Like maybe that's your one thing, right? And then the third thing, so I do a lot of things in 3s around here. It's my favorite number, my abundant number, my lucky number, all the things. The third thing, so 3 things we're satisfied with and something that we can do to keep it moving. 3 things we are not feeling so snug with. And, hold on a second, guys. Confirm. Okay. 3 things that you're dissatisfied with and one action item to move in a better direction. And then 3 things that you are going to commit to doing that will fill your cup. In this season. That you're maybe you're already doing them and you just want to write it down to really like hunker down on continuing it. Or maybe there are things you want to start adding into your life and business. So, okay, there we go. We got our dream work. I call it dream work around here versus homework. Because I think it's really important for us to, shift the mindset around some of the things that, homework kind of gives us that, like, I'm in 3rd grade and, oh my God, I got to do my homework kind of a feeling. Okay, I will add that to my devotional and post it to my story with you tagged. I always start with gratitude. I love that. Absolutely. Accountability, girl. Accountability, like, tag me in it. I will dance and hurrah and be so happy and excited with you and just share in that moment of you taking the moment to do your devotional and take some time for these 3 things. So, absolutely love these prompts. Okay, good. I'm glad, you guys. That was like me just thinking on the fly. So I was like, okay, hopefully this resonates and it's something that we could all do. It doesn't feel too lofty. I want it to be small, bite-sized things. So absolutely feel like you can, share in your stories or just, in your DMs if you need a little bit more of accountability. Absolutely. I'm here to celebrate with you as you just do small, little, beautiful things that help you feel the most confident self. So, this was a nice way to start the morning. You're so welcome. Yes. So my plan is I'm thinking Mondays. Last week when I did this kind of on the fly, like I'm kind of sort of doing today, I was kind of preemptively thinking about doing it last night. If you saw my stories, then I put a little quiz thing on there. But I'm thinking Mondays because not only is it going to start our day, but it's also going to start our week off, having a confidence boost, chit-chatting together, feeling like we're not alone, all of the things. Yes, I enjoyed this. Thank you. How do we get notifications for when you go live? You know what? Good question. Let me look into that. I think there's a way. I'll look into that. But definitely DM me after this and just say, reminder, I want to be notified so that I can like look into it and make sure that I follow up. The other thing I'll probably start doing is doing like a reminder. So I know that there can be like a little like an event type thing that I can make like in my Instagram page that'll say like going live at blah, blah, blah time on Mondays. Anybody have any preference? I'm Central Time. And I know we've got some Eastern, like where are we all at and what would be like an ideal time? I know I will never get like the perfect time for everybody. Cause like this week there's different people on than were on last week. And, like it's always going to be different. But if I can at least, for those that would like to jump onto this, if I could at least have like something that works as best possible for people, I would love that. So let me know if you have a preference. So it'll most likely be Monday mornings. Let me know if you have a preference of time frame and let me know your time zone so that I can kind of be as mindful as possible about doing these regular convos together to have us all kind of chit-chatting, because I'm so glad that you loved it. And I'm so glad that these questions got us like really just thinking differently, and all that good stuff. I think that would be easiest for after 10 a.m., but I think that would be easiest for you. Okay, got it. So after 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna do I have a pen over here? No, I'll remember that. I can remember that. I can always go back and listen to this too. But yeah. So Before I wrap up too, I wanted to talk about a couple of things. So if you're loving this content, again, it's going to be coming more. It's going to I'll always leave the replay too if anybody misses out on it or jumps in halfway or wants to go back to it for some reason because maybe you said something that you want to remember, what it was or whatever it is. Hey there, just joined. What are we talking about? So we just went through and did a couple of different mindful questions. The last thing that we did was, the question was, what makes me me? And what am I like? So we talked about kind of like the things that create like who we are, the fabric of who we are. And we just had some really great moments of sharing. So feel free if you would like to share what makes you you. This is a very safe space, all beautiful women, who are just building each other up here. So absolutely let us know if there's anything that you can, you want to, or you feel comfy sharing that, like what makes you you or what makes you unique and what makes you feel yourself really. And so also too, I'll be again doing these confidence boost convos Monday mornings. I'll kind of hone in on what time is going to be best to kind of get this, as best possible for everybody on different time zones and all that good stuff. And maybe like if people are loving this, I might pick another time per week to go, as well. Maybe like in, later in the day, things like that. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm so happy you're here and I'm so happy that we've been connecting. I've been loving your content and all that good stuff too. So I can't wait to get to know you more. And so to wrap up here, I did want to just chit chat a little bit really quickly about a few things happening. So a post this week came up and I'll be talking about it in my stories as well. But starting February 1st through February 29th, I'm doing the Love Yourself Challenge. So it is the most simple thing that you could ever possibly do. But last year when I did it, it was a hit. I personally absolutely loved it. So many people that did it with me loved it. And what it is just one small thing that you can do to kind of show yourself love. So you would pick whatever it is that you want to do. And I'll give a couple examples just to get your gears going. But one small thing that you're going to do every day for the month of February. And February is the shortest month of the year. We all know that, right? Because kindergarten happened, right? And so if we can do something small for ourselves any month, we can do it in February because there's less days. Although this year is a leap year, so we do have one extra day. So here's some examples. Last year, I did a fun pair of earrings, for instance, every single day for the month of February. I took a moment every morning to take a moment of intention to pick out a fun pair of earrings that went with my outfit, that made me feel happy, that made me smile. Even on days where, like, obviously, naturally, there's a couple days where we were like cleaning or just lounging around the house, but I still picked out like a simple stud, for instance, and just wore something. It was the intentionality behind it of taking the moment to do it. And then just like the reminder throughout the day to like feel lifted is what it really was. I had some people who committed to doing coffee every day by themselves, like just 20 minutes of sitting by themselves for the month of February. I had people who just wore fun socks for the whole month of February. I had people who committed to doing a 10-minute walk every day in the month of February. Trying to think of other things. I had, one person they organized one drawer or one spot in their house every day for the month of February. I thought that was a pretty poignant one because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that could be a project. But I think for the most part, they started with, they did like a drawer, right? Like another drawer, one just cabinet. So that way that it wasn't like huge projects, but they could attain it. They personally could attain it. I don't know if I could do that one, to be honest. I love a good organizing time, but I don't know if I could do it for a month straight every day. So all that to say is find the thing that feels good for you. Find the one simple thing that you can do without feeling like it's burden, like it's a task, like it's a chore, that it's just exciting. So I am going to do the earrings again this year. I have so many fun earrings. I have a lot of earrings from small businesses and other women makers and creators that I want to be able to support within it, because I usually come on my stories every day and do a little just a story or a boomerang just to show my accountability, to show up for you so that we can all show up together, right? So I get to tag them. So it's like this fun, like for me, it's a ripple effect as well. But I am going to add in, since I did that last year, I'm going to add in one other small thing, and I'm still toying around with what that's going to be. So open to suggestions, or maybe if somebody else shares what they're doing and I'm inspired, then, I could feel like a little bit, inspired in the right direction. So yes, so that's the Love Yourself Challenge. It will start February 1st and it will go all the way through the end of the month on February 29th. There is no strings attached. There is no perfection, just intention. So if you have a day where you don't do whatever it is you choose, we're not beating anybody up. We're not beating ourselves up. We're not doing any of that here. And it's free, easy. I will be mainly in my stories daily, just doing a reminder for it, and then holding myself accountable throughout it so that I can help, cheer you on and boost you in that. So join in, bring a friend along. Like, it's just really about building community. It's really about creating something simple in our lives that just brings us a little bit of joy and a little bit of intentionality. And so that's the main thing I wanted to just kind of like make sure that I said here, so I could explain it a little bit further, because I don't want to take up like 8 stories explaining that. So it will live here on the replay as well now. So, and then the other thing, I know that a lot of you watch my stories on the regular, and I have been like Easter egging about something big and fun and exciting that's happening in my life that was, I've been kind of manifesting and working towards, because you can't just dream it, you have to do it too, right? So, that I've been working towards, and I can finally talk about it publicly because they announced the cast. And so I am super excited because, as you guys know, I'm all about kind of stretching and growing and expanding myself, and in turn doing and helping my clients and my community do that too. So I have been casted in something called That's What She Said, and it is growing. It is going, I forget how many states it is in now, but it is a growing, beautiful performance type community that is all about empowering women, giving women a voice, sharing our stories, all of this. So April 13th, so anybody who is local and would like to come, tickets are going to be officially on sale, I think in like next week, but I think, yes, I believe next week. So let me know if you're interested. If you're local to me it'll be in Naperville, Illinois, but there's going to be 9 of us women from different backgrounds, different ages, different cultures, all of that on stage, and we'll each be telling a little story of our own lives. There's going to be like a fun after party. There's going to just be women coming together that are going to be there for a night of celebration. There'll be laughter, there'll be tears, there'll be all the things. And I'm working on cultivating my story as we speak of all that fun stuff. But I wanted to share that with you all because it is stretching me so hard. It is stretching me in a big way. There's going to be 600 people in this audience. And although I have spoken to small groups of women, I think the largest I've probably had is probably like 40-ish maybe. And so to have 600 women, fabulous other humans, to stand on stage in front of and show that it's safe to be telling our stories and our struggles and all of that is such a huge honor for me and my heart. And I also am doing it because I want to show you all what's possible, right? It is not coming without a lot of anxiety, a little bit of sweaty armpits, right? All of that. So if I can do it, you can do it. And maybe it isn't getting on stage and talking in front of 600 people, but maybe it's something else. And I want to show up within it so that you can show up within whatever is your stretch, your dream, your thing. I have a currently manifesting list on like in front of me most of the time in my office. And I had, I am speaking in front of 200 women, and my manifestation double, or I guess triple technically, because we have 600 seats in the theater that it will be in. So anyways, thank you for sharing in my joy of that. Thank you for just listening to me kind of chat about it, because I am excited and I want to hear about your beautiful things. So please let me know, whether it's here in the comments or on the replay in the comments or in my DMs, something that you are super, 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 super excited about and proud of happening this year, even if it is something that you think on the radar is small, Share it with me. I want to know. Victoria, beautiful. Yay. Congratulations. So proud. Thank you. Oh my gosh. So much, Victoria. I appreciate you. And just, I love the support and beautifulness that I get from you and from everybody here. Thank you for sharing your life and inspiring us. Oh my gosh. Of course, Cassie. I never thought in a million years that I would be called to be sharing so much of myself, but it is important to me to do just that. And that's what I'm called to in this season. And so thank you all for sharing yourself with me and, building this beautiful camaraderie that we have happening in this world here. And I only hope that I give back to you and your communities and all the things that you do the way that you do to me. So thank you guys so much. I am gonna hop off here because I got to get to a few things. And speaking of getting grounded, I got to check some things off for a few clients here. So I want to be sure that I do that and save some energy for that. But thank you all so much. Take a deep breath here before you go into the rest of your day and ground yourself. Do those few things that we kind of talked about and see what comes up for you. And Cassie says, have a wonderful day, everyone. Mwah! Love from all of us. I will see you guys soon.